Hello and welcome to Blue Army TV. I'm sitting here after Carlisle have been beaten 1-0 at home to Blackpool, where Carlisle conceded a goal after about 40 seconds. I'm pretty sure it's the earliest goal we've conceded this season. But yeah, that's probably where the match peaked, to be perfectly honest with you. Nothing really seemed to happen after that. I don't think there was any real major chances for either team after that. It just turned into a bit of a really unfortunate foot race between Paul Huntington and Dembele for Blackpool. Possibly the slowest player on the pitch, trying to catch up to the quickest on the pitch. And that ended about as well as you would expect it to. He gets it past Harry Lewis, of course he does. Everyone seems to be able to score past Harry Lewis. But yeah, look, after that, I think Carlisle defended well. I don't think there was much going forward. I think the midfield was the issue today. I really think that was a major issue. I think having one recognised midfielder on the pitch, it does cause problems. And look, Harrison Neal did what he could, but when he's got Mellish a centre back and Jack Robinson a left back either side of him in that midfield, you can't expect us to win that midfield battle, and we just didn't. And that stopped us from getting chances to them two up top. And look, I think the idea is that them two are going to be our strike partnership going forward. But if you're not going to have a player with pace, with a lot of pace up top, I'm not entirely sure a back five works. Because I think them two as a strike partnership suit a 4-4-2 more than a 5-3-2, if you get what I mean. We don't have the place to do that, really, and it certainly doesn't help that Gibson and McCallum still aren't back in the fold after everything that happened off the pitch with them. But yeah, look, a big injury to Robinson, and it looks like we're going to have to finish the season with Jaden Harris in midfield, which, look, it says all you need to know about how much the manager rates Jaden Harris, where we'd rather start with a centre back and a left back in midfield than put him, an actual midfielder, in there. I don't think he was awful when he came on. There was a few instances where you could tell he wasn't up to the quality of everyone else on the pitch. He got made a fool of a few times, but you can't lack his effort. I think he just isn't that level of player. And there's a reason he hasn't even been making the bench for most of this season. But yeah, Blackpool, I didn't think were anything in particularly special, but at the end of the day, I don't think they needed to be. They got their goal in the first minute, and then Carlisle didn't really pose any threats. I don't think we had a shot in the first half. It took a long time for us to even get our first shot. So in that kind of situation, they don't really need to get out of second gear. If we're not posing them any threats and they're up in the game, why would they need to, Obviously you want to score more goals, but they didn't need to, and they didn't need to be particularly good to beat us today. And it's just what we've seen so much of this season, and it's just a team that's better than us that we can't really get near. And there was a few chances. Mellish had a chance that he took on his right foot, which, if you know Mellish, he's not exactly a right-footed player. As they say, that foot's just for standing on. He's left-footed through and through is Mellish. And it showed because, from what probably should have been a goal-scoring chance, he managed to swing his right foot at it and send it wide. There was a few instances where Blackpool maybe could have scored, and I think Blackpool will be frustrated with that game, even though they got the 3 points, because we were bad. But, there was times where we did manage to get forward, and we did manage to fend away their attacks a little bit far too easily. A little bit easily. And I think they'll be frustrated with the way they're playing. They didn't look to me like a team pushing for the playoffs. They looked more like a team down at this end with us, that still had something to fight for. And they were, it's a weird one, but I think Blackpool fans will be disappointed in that performance. But at this point in the season, it's just about getting the results, isn't it? For them, we're already down. It doesn't matter for us, but Blackpool will just be happy to have won that game, because there were times where they should have made more of the opportunities they had, and they didn't. And against other teams, that can't happen. And as we've shown in this division, as we've learnt this season in League One, if you miss the chances and you don't make, if you don't take advantage of being on top of teams like Blackpool were today, then you can be made to live to regret it. They weren't, unfortunately, but But it is what it is. I think Kelly and Armstrong are going to be very good in League Two. That's one thing I will say. I think Kelly showed today his quality. He just needs that first goal now. Armstrong's got 3 so far this season, but I think together they'll be a brilliant strike partnership in League Two. Harrison Neal, I think, he did his best, but it's hard when you're the only midfielder on the pitch. And yeah, they're just overrun us in midfield. I think that's the big thing to take from today. They were just better in the midfield, and we paid the price. An injury to Jack Robinson, we could do without, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter as long as he's back for the start of next season. And yeah, that's all I really have to say from today, because it's a 1-0 defeat in a game that means nothing, and there's not really too much to say on the matter. But regardless, it keeps us on 30 points. And with Fleetwood winning today, it looks really unlikely that we're going to be able to take ourselves off bottom of the league, which is disappointing for me, because I really thought after last week's win that we could maybe push on and, even though we're already relegated, somehow, restore a little bit of pride to the Carlisle team and not finish bottom of the league, but that looks very unlikely now. So we're just going to have to plod on till the end of the season. It's our last game at Brunton Park next week. I hope that they give us something to cheer about, and I expect them to give us something to cheer about at Brunton Park. After some of the dross we've had to put up with this season, I hope that last home game of the season, we finish the season on a little bit of a positive, or at least we finish a lot of people's seasons, homegrown fans, with a bit of positive news. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, and in a bit.